Um, I always start off with a Maxim from Chateau Heartiste, which is kind of like where I came from here. And today's Maxim is pretty simple, very straightforward. Some of these things are kind of like deep philosophy, and some of them are kind of cutting, but this is very basic training, which a lot of my stuff is really. You get the basics down, everything else tends to fall into place. So Maxim number 39, there's about 200 of them. So this was along the way. He had been picking up steam. Stop smiling so much. Girls will think you're ingratiating. Girls prefer men. They can ingratiate themselves too. If you walk around with a big dumb smile, and you should, everybody kind of is a little bit different with this. Some guys are like super serious. Some guys can kind of like monitor how they come across to the world. And then there's just some guys that are kind of like lighthearted, easygoing. And they tend to not end up in front of me. I mean, I can't think of a guy that said, I'm kind of a comedian and I end up, not taking, girls don't take me seriously. I usually get guys that are more on the logical side and they've had to learn how to loosen up. But stop smiling so much, which is a good thing, because what this does, and there's been studies that have proven this, is women are more attracted to men that they're not sure what his feelings are about her. So the less emotion, the less of your cards, for lack of a better explanation, the less of your hand that you can reveal, the more interested she'll find you. It's kind of like, I was watching one of Coach Corey Wayne's videos the other day, and he was talking about staying on the phone all the time before you even meet, because after a while, you can actually overtext or overtalk a girl, and she's like, well, why would I meet this guy? I know everything about him. Because girls, if you're smiling, you're kind of giving yourself away. And there's nothing wrong with being, friendly, but overly friendly, not discerning, can be too revealing. So if you can kind of tone it down a little bit and you don't want to walk around with a big stupid grin on your face, stop smiling so much. Girls will think you're ingratiating, but girls prefer men they can ingratiate themselves too. Men that they can entertain, men that they can kind of bring out of their shell, men that they can chase. They may not be doing it right from the very beginning, but that's what it does. So being more neutral, revealing less, being more succinct, and for lack of a better word, you're kind of judging her. And guys that are smiling with a big grin on their face aren't judging. They're like easily accepting her. So you want to have a little bit more where you're screening her for her qualities. And you wouldn't do that with a smile on your face. So it's just one of those things that you can, again, like with posture, stand up taller, more power poses, don't lean in. It's little things like this. And again, people underestimate, especially men, how much is conveyed non-verbally. And this is one of those things that if you can kind of get control of it, you can come across to more women more powerfully, and they will start trying to qualify themselves to you. And that's the word I was trying to find earlier, is, you're trying to find quality women. So you kind of have to screen them. And guys with a big grin on their face are already accepting to a certain extent. So you want to have a little bit more discernment when you're talking to a girl. And again, you're looking for flaws. You don't have to talk about it, but it really does make it easier to interact with beautiful, attractive women if you do see some of their flaws. Otherwise, it kind of overwhelms your brain. Guys get tongue-tied and they start freaking out. So Maxim number 39, be aware of your face. It never hurts. And I know this sounds crazy, but it matters. Is, even like talking to yourself in front of the mirror, just watch your own facial expression, see how you feel, because this is a hard thing to do on the fly. But you'll be surprised, especially if you're kind of like lighthearted. With me, I had to be more friendly in appearance because I'm like 6'2", and, sometimes I'd hit that mid 250. And so you're, intimidating in the first place. It tended to take girls off guard. If you're a little bit more friendly, you can't walk around looking angry, because you already look angry almost all the time. So that's the balance you have to strike, is find what works best for you. If you have kind of an intimidating appearance, but you're a little bit more friendlier, that contrast makes you more attractive. So that's just a suggestion. Probably one of the reasons that this wasn't an issue for me, but I can see where it can become an issue for a lot of men, especially if you're easygoing and laid back. Maxim number 39, stop smiling so much. Girls will think you're ingratiating. Will think you're ingratiating. Girls prefer men they can ingratiate themselves to. Women are more attracted to men whom they're not sure of his feelings for them. So that's a big deal. Just neutral, balancer 182. A neutral, or, and you can flip back and forth. If she says something that pleases you, you can smile. If she says something that is displeasing, you can frown. It's one of those things that don't be afraid of showing displeasure, even if it's just fleeting. And again, a little bit of this is acting. So, because it is game, there's a reason that we call it game. There's some acting in there. But you can control the narrative through your facial expressions. Next topic,